In a significant escalation of the ongoing conflict, Ukrainian forces recently launched a series of daring drone attacks. These attacks targeted several Russian airbases located deep within Russian territory, far from the immediate front lines. This audacious operation signals a new phase in Ukraine's defensive strategy, showcasing an enhanced capability to strike at valuable military assets of the aggressor. The news sent ripples across the globe, highlighting the evolving nature of modern warfare. For many months, the conflict had seen various tactics, but this coordinated assault on airfields represents a particularly bold move by Kiev, challenging Russia's perceived air superiority and security within its own borders. The sheer scale and reach of this operation have caught many military analysts by surprise, prompting a re-evaluation of Ukraine's offensive potential. The attacks were reportedly widespread, hitting multiple strategic locations simultaneously. This suggests a high level of coordination and intelligence gathering on the part of the Ukrainian military. These airbases are not merely parking lots for planes, they are crucial hubs for launching air raids, reconnaissance missions, and transporting troops and supplies. By targeting them, Ukraine aims to disrupt Russia's aerial operations, which have been a constant threat to Ukrainian cities and military positions. The selection of targets indicates a clear intent to degrade Russia's capacity to project air power. This is not just a symbolic gesture, it is a calculated military action designed to inflict tangible damage and create operational difficulties for the Russian armed forces. The precision involved also points to advanced technological capabilities. The element of surprise was a key factor in the success of these strikes. Penetrating Russian air defenses, which are supposed to be formidable, to hit such high-value targets demonstrates either a vulnerability in Russia's protective shield or a very sophisticated method of attack employed by the Ukrainians. The drones, likely a mix of different types, managed to navigate complex airspaces and reach their intended destinations, causing considerable alarm within the Russian military command. This ability to project force so far into enemy territory is a testament to Ukraine's ingenuity and determination. It also raises questions about the preparedness and effectiveness of Russia's early warning systems and air defense networks when faced with such asymmetrical threats. The psychological impact of these strikes, knowing that even bases far from Ukraine are not safe, cannot be understated. The initial reports indicate that these were not isolated incidents, but a carefully planned wave of attacks. The drones, operating in a coordinated fashion, overwhelmed local defenses at several airfields. For Ukraine, this operation serves multiple purposes. It degrades Russia's military capabilities, boosts domestic morale, and sends a strong message to Moscow that its aggression will be met with increasingly potent responses. The international community is closely watching these developments, as they could potentially alter the dynamics of the conflict. The use of such advanced drone technology in this manner underscores a significant shift in how wars are fought, where smaller, more agile platforms can challenge larger, more conventional military powers. The meticulous planning behind such an operation would have taken months of preparation and intelligence work. Drones, or unmanned aerial vehicles, have become absolutely central to modern warfare, and this recent Ukrainian operation is a stark example of their effectiveness. These are essentially aircraft without a human pilot on board. They can be controlled remotely by operators on the ground, sometimes from hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away. Some advanced drones can also fly autonomously, following pre-programmed flight paths and using sophisticated sensors to identify and engage targets. Their versatility is a major advantage. They can be used for reconnaissance, surveillance, intelligence gathering, and, as seen in this case, direct attacks. The relatively low cost of some drone types compared to manned aircraft makes them an attractive option, especially for countries facing a larger, better-equipped adversary. This allows for a more democratized form of air power. In this specific series of attacks, Ukraine reportedly deployed a significant number of drones. These were not just small, commercially available quadcopters, but likely more sophisticated long-range attack drones, some possibly developed domestically or supplied by international partners. These machines were programmed or guided to strike specific targets within the Russian airbases, such as parked aircraft, fuel depots, and ammunition storage facilities. The fact that over 40 Russian aircraft were reported as damaged or destroyed speaks volumes about the precision and scale of this drone blitz. This was not a haphazard attack. It was a targeted effort to cripple Russia's air assets. The ability to launch a swarm of drones simultaneously can overwhelm air defense systems, which might be designed to counter a smaller number of larger, more conventional threats. The importance of drones in this war cannot be overstated. For Ukraine, they have been a vital tool to level the playing field against a numerically superior Russian military. Drones provide critical intelligence, allowing Ukrainian forces to see Russian troop movements and target artillery with greater accuracy. They also offer a means to strike behind enemy lines without risking pilots' lives, a crucial consideration when manpower is a precious resource. This particular attack on airbases deep within Russia highlights how drones can extend a nation's reach and hold high-value assets at risk, even if those assets are located far from the front. The psychological impact is also significant, as it demonstrates vulnerability where previously there was a sense of security. The low radar cross-section of many drones also makes them difficult to detect and intercept by traditional air defense systems. This drone offensive signifies a tactical shift. While Russia has also extensively used drones, including Iranian-made Shaheds, for its attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure and cities, Ukraine is now demonstrating a potent capability to retaliate in kind, and with considerable effect, against military targets. This development shows that Ukraine is not just defending, but is also actively seeking to degrade Russia's war-making capacity directly on Russian soil. The message is clear. Russian territory is no longer a sanctuary immune from the consequences of the war it initiated. This kind of asymmetric warfare, where a less powerful actor can inflict significant damage on a more powerful one using innovative technology, is becoming a hallmark of 21st century conflicts. The development and deployment of such capabilities require significant technical expertise and operational planning. The immediate and most visible impact of the Ukrainian drone strikes is the significant damage inflicted upon Russian airbases and their valuable aircraft. Reports suggest that facilities such as runways, hangars, control towers, and fuel storage units were targeted, causing disruption that extends beyond just the loss of planes. An airbase is a complex ecosystem, and damage to any part of its infrastructure can render it temporarily or even partially inoperable. Repairing such damage takes time and resources, diverting them from other critical war efforts. For Russia, the need to enhance air defenses at numerous bases, many of which were previously considered safe, now becomes an urgent priority, stretching their already strained military resources even thinner. This forces a reallocation of defensive assets from the front lines or other strategic areas. The claim that over 40 Russian aircraft were damaged or destroyed is a staggering figure. These aircraft are not easily replaceable, especially under the current international sanctions regime that restricts Russia's access to Western technology and components. The lost or damaged fleet likely includes various types of aircraft, from fighter jets like Su-34s or Su-35s, which are crucial for air superiority and ground attack missions, to transport planes and possibly even strategic bombers. Each lost aircraft represents not only a multi-million-dollar financial loss, but also a reduction in Russia's operational capacity to conduct airstrikes, reconnaissance, and logistical support. The Kremlin now faces the daunting task of assessing the full extent of the damage and figuring out how to compensate for these considerable losses in its air fleet. The broader consequences for Russia are manifold. Logistically, it means a reduced number of available aircraft for operations in Ukraine, potentially lessening the intensity or frequency of Russian air attacks. Financially, the cost of replacing these advanced warplanes is immense, running into billions of dollars. Moreover, the attacks expose vulnerabilities in Russia's air defense network, which was once touted as nearly impenetrable. This revelation could embolden Ukraine to attempt further such strikes and may also be noted by other international observers and potential adversaries. The pressure on the Russian military leadership to explain these security lapses and prevent future occurrences will undoubtedly be immense. This also forces a re-evaluation of base security protocols across the entire country. Psychologically, these successful Ukrainian strikes deal a blow to Russian morale, both within the military and among the general populace, if the news becomes widely known despite state censorship. For Russian pilots and ground crews stationed at these bases, the sense of security has been shattered. The knowledge that Ukrainian drones can reach deep into Russia and strike with such precision creates an environment of unease and uncertainty. This can affect operational tempo and the willingness to concentrate valuable assets in single locations. Conversely, for Ukraine, it serves as a significant morale booster, demonstrating that they can indeed take the fight to the enemy and inflict meaningful damage. The narrative of Russian invincibility takes another hit, which is crucial in a prolonged conflict. For Ukraine, these successful drone operations represent a significant tactical and strategic victory. They demonstrate an evolving military capability, proving that Kyiv can develop or acquire and effectively deploy sophisticated long-range strike systems. This ability to hit targets deep within Russia serves as a powerful deterrent and a means of imposing direct costs on the aggressor for its continued invasion. It boosts the morale of the Ukrainian people and their armed forces, showing that they are not merely defending but are capable of proactive, impactful offensive actions. Furthermore, it strengthens Ukraine's position when seeking continued military aid from international partners, as it showcases their ability to use such aid effectively to alter the battlefield dynamics. This success could inspire further innovation in drone warfare tactics. For Russia, the drone blitz is a serious wake-up call. It forces a re-evaluation of its air defense strategies and the security of its critical military infrastructure far from the Ukrainian border. Moscow may now need to divert significant resources, including advanced air defense systems like the S-400, to protect these rear bases, potentially weakening its air defense capabilities along the front lines or in other strategic regions. The loss of over 40 aircraft is a material blow that will impact its ability to sustain air operations at the previous intensity. Politically, it could lead to increased pressure on the military leadership and potentially even fuel internal dissent or questioning of the war's handling, especially as the costs mount and the conflict directly touches Russian soil more frequently and dramatically. This event is profoundly important because it underscores the transformative role of drone technology in modern warfare. It highlights how a nation with fewer conventional resources can leverage technology to challenge a larger military power. The democratization of air power through drones means that the traditional advantages held by countries with large, expensive air forces are being eroded. We are likely to see an acceleration in the development of both offensive drone capabilities and counter-drone technologies. This incident will be studied by military planners worldwide, influencing future defense investments and strategic thinking. The cat-and-mouse game of drone versus anti-drone systems will become even more intense, shaping the contours of future conflicts. Looking ahead, we can expect Ukraine to continue and possibly intensify its drone campaign against strategic targets within Russia, provided it can sustain the supply and production of these weapons. Russia, in turn, will likely seek to bolster its air defenses, develop more effective counter-drone measures, and potentially retaliate, possibly through intensified strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure or by targeting drone manufacturing and launch sites. The risk of escalation is an ever-present concern in such scenarios. This daring drone blitz has undeniably altered the calculus of the war, demonstrating Ukraine's resolve and growing capabilities, while exposing Russian vulnerabilities. The coming months will reveal how both sides adapt to this new reality in the skies above the conflict zone and beyond.